Hey everyone, and welcome back to Steve's Place Down Under. Today is January 1st, 2026, so Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all had a great festive season, a great Christmas, all that sort of thing, and hope the new year brings you all what you wish for, and happiness and great health and everything. So I thought today I would give this D1810. It's a international D line, they call them here in Australia, 1973 model. I've had a bloke who's a good supporter of the channel. He comments on nearly every video that's been pushing me to get this one going. I have been a bit hesitant because the starter's buggered in it. Last time we had it going, we give her a snig with the tractor, and it doesn't take much to do that, but I'm by myself today. I don't really want the kids doing that with me, and it didn't run real well. It just blew a lot of smoke. It didn't sound like a V8 at all. So I thought we might even give the starter a tinker. I thought we might check the timing. It could be that, or it could be just buggered. When we did buy it, it hasn't run for about 9 years. When we did buy it, probably 10 years ago, they drove it several hundred kilometres when they bought it to where we got it from. So I don't know whether to believe that or whether they've tinkered with it in the meantime, because you couldn't drive it 1 kilometre with how it was running. So whether they've tinkered with it and buggered something up, or whether that was a white lie, I don't know. So we'll give you a few run specs of her. You have to excuse the day too. So here in Sydney, it is the middle of summer. It should be burning the hat off the top of your head, but it is freezing cold, it is overcast. It is just very miserable, but you know, it's not going to stop us from doing a will at start. Now, this old girl is a D1810, as I said. Now, D-line 1810 was a single drive, 2-speed diff. Got a 345 petrol V8. It's in worse condition than what I remember it from sitting down here, but I haven't got enough shed space to preserve all this stuff. Now, this is one of the better ones in the lineup down here. A few of those old girls won't be saved. There's a R model Mack around there I'd like to save. The rest of them are rusted out. That green Acco there is pretty good. The rest are just spare parts. The little blue truck Leyland Boxer I use for bushfires. It's got a load of water on it, and will start within about, I don't know, 2 minutes of me saying this if I tried. There's a battery in it already. This end here is pretty good as well. That's an AA. That's got a 6354 Perkins in it. I haven't got enough shed space for this stuff. That Volvo's not mine, so I'm not too concerned. Although I do like to save it, I'm not too concerned about it because I've got enough of my own worries here. So the bonnet is completely had it. And I've seen the turret starting to rust. She did have a ding here, but that's easily fixed. If there's still steel there that hasn't gone right through, that's okay. So it has been modified. Now you can see this. It's a pretty good join. It's staggered. It's got an inner rail. You can see here, and then here she's been offset. So that gives you that support there. So it's been done properly. It's a nice job. I've never driven it long enough to see if it tracks or drives straight, but I'd imagine it's been a good job like that. It would drive straight. It's a 5-speed main with a 3-speed Joey, so it's a 5B3, and obviously now bogie drive. One of the reasons that it is sitting down here is because it's hydraulic brakes. And when you use them as much as me, 3 or 4 times a year, hydraulic brakes, they cost a fortune to do up. And if they sit around, they gather moisture and bugger back out. And we're going fairly decent runs, and I don't really fancy running an old V8 petrol as far as we run the Detroits and the Cummins we got on the road. Although it would make a good local truck, I just don't want to spend the money on the braking system as of yet. If I become full-time one day, I think I would get her on the road. So she's got these 2 big petrol tanks. 1810 should have had it, I think, behind the seat. I could be wrong. Usually if they were behind the seat, there was a hole here in the side of the cab. So maybe she had a tank on the chassis, but it wouldn't have been two big ones like that, I don't think. So what they've done, I think, is they've cut the, so that's a 71 butter box there. It's got the same running gear, except that it's a diesel. It's got a 5B3 as well. Hydraulic set of 34,000 pound Rockwells under it with Hendrickson. I reckon they've cut one of them in half and butt welded it to this 1810. Same suspension, same diffs, same everything. It's a beautiful job, and blokes in those days did what they had to do the job. So we'll try and get the bonnet up. I just tried before, but it's sort of coming away from the hinges, so I might give it a bit of a spray. I'd like to access the top bolt on the starter in the bottom, but we might even put a battery in just see what the starter does. But from memory, I don't know if it was staying on or wasn't working at all, or it was lazy. It was something like that. If you hear a little bike in the background, my daughter's roaring around on a motorbike. So I'm going to try and lube these hinges up. This side's pretty good. That side there where the rust is, I just don't think there's any leverage on it because the bonnet's sort of rusted away from the frame. I'm not too concerned about the bonnet because these trucks are still fairly plentiful in Australia. I mean, they're probably not all in perfect condition, but you'd be able to find enough parts to replace this bonnet. That could be fixed too if you had the time, but I'm not really a panel beater. I can do it if I'm interested enough. It's hard to believe something could get so seized sitting out of the undercover like that. It's got like a ratchet gear mechanism in it that pulls the top side of the frame while the bottom goes up. I'm not pushing as hard as I can because of where the bar's resting on. Sort of helps. Well, I think it'll be enough. So there she is, the once almighty 345 cubic inch International V8. They did come out 392s. I don't know if this smaller model did. I believe the only real quick way to tell is 392s had a 4-barrel Holly on them, and these, it's obviously a little 2-barrel, whether it's a 350 or 500, I don't know. I said it could be timing, it could well be, but you got these delicious looking, well, the rats thought so, these leads here. They've had a fair nibble on too, so they could be arcing amongst themselves. They could not be, they may not even be getting to the plug. I've got that many old spare parts. I'd have enough leads to get it going, but we can always just see what she does. I may drop the sump plug out just to see if she's got any water in it, but I'm not going to change the oil because of the condition the old girl's in. I'm not spending money on oil for it unless it's going anywhere. Actually, she's got none on her anyhow. I'll have to put something in her regardless. I reckon all that smoke she blow, I would say it's worn out and she's just burning all that oil. Anyway, we can still give her a go. I don't like the look of that. That would be either seized, or if I push it in, it'll probably stick down. My experience with these old trucks. Looking under that, she's fairly sludgy too. think the first thing we can do is see what that starter does. Just put the battery in there. They're not easy to lift up in that far, those N70s, but we can do that. Might get the starter button hook up to her on the outside here. Once we do try and start it, just so I can control the carburetor and see any other problems with her. See if I can identify earth and power. So power, I would imagine, I can't see where it's going, but that one's going to the back of the head, plus it's smaller diameter on the terminal, so that'd be earth. Fair lifting across there. Fairly common thing, even though AA next to it, the older girl, she's got the battery tray up like this. I think they're the same cab actually. I might just give her a tap before I go to too much trouble here. I don't want to screw them down properly. From memory it did stick on. All bound up in her ear. Rats have been having a great time in here, but look at it. Sounds like she just hit, mainly clicking. And I'd say when she just tried to turn her, then something happened on one of the battery terminals. I have got a 345 in that green Acco there, another old V8. I could pop the starter off, but that's becoming a little bit out of control. It's certainly trying. I think all the dash lights go out when I do that, which means to me that she's just broken contact. I'm not at all surprised. From memory, this is what she did. Might just get the load tester on that battery. One, it'll test the battery, and two, if we put it on with the terminals on there, it will pull the current through those terminals and see if we're getting good contact also. But from memory, the starter was buggered in it. But this battery was in my LNT 9000, old Louisville up there, and she was down in it too. Yeah, I think she's a bit lazy. This is actually a new battery. Of course, it sits around. It's probably not in the best condition. Just give her another go with the terminals off. Eliminate that contact there. She's got the same bolts in her. Let's see if the load comes to... Yeah, she's going down in the red. When they hit the red like that, they're knackered, which is a shame because that wouldn't be 12 months old. I should take it back probably. These old cat batteries, exact size of the bloody box. I'm not high enough to push her in properly. Oh, it's not great, but it's going to let us see what happens with her. I think we've got to pull the starter out of her. Okay, so what I've done, I ended up pulling the starter out of the old Acco there, that green one. That's a 345 as well. I'll just show you the difference in the room in them. Yeah, she was extremely hard on this one, but it was a lot easier than the D-line. You've got the old V8 in her ear, and you can get down in there to get the back, well, the top bolt of the starter. This one runs really good. Really good. It's got a hole in one of the exhaust manifolds, but apart from that, she runs beautiful. This one, however, it's got that inner guard, and I had to lay over there and try and get it down beside that steering column in there with my hand bent backwards and everything else. But what did happen when I was laying under the old Acco, I come back to get another non-fit out of the toolbox here, and I could smell something, and she walked over close and she was sizzling and popping. Last time we tried to do her, well, in this video we tried to wind her over, she must have stuck in. So I could see a bit of smoke coming up. I could smell this plastic, and I get underneath her and she's the smoke belting out of the bell housing. So the starter's stuck in and she started cooking. So the idea I had of just changing the Bakelite cap so you can see what was actually wrong with her ear has now gone out the window, because I'd say it's fried the rest of it. Anyway, I don't use these trucks, but I do like them going still, so I'll try and reach out to someone, maybe Friday Parts might even be able to get me one. Be a good episode, getting the whole Acco going, but I'll put this in the D line. This works, that Acco runs really nice, so we'll put this in the D line now. Okay, got the starter on. I'm going to go now. I didn't show you this because that's a real bugger of a spot, and I would have been in the way, so all you did was miss out on a few swear words and a little bit of spanner action under there. We'll give her a go. Doesn't sound real good. Sounds to me like she's locked up. I can see the fan through that bonnet opening there, and she's bouncing back and forth. Great. Okay, so what that's going to mean is knocking all them plugs out of her. Oh dear. Something I thought might crank up fairly easily for you all is now turning into a job. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to inspect those plugs, but certainly not what I had in mind of doing. I don't want to hydraulic it either if that's what's trying to happen there. I'm better off pulling them all out and going from there. Okay, I'm going to knock all the plugs out of her. Not easy to work on these old V8s, whether they're a car or a truck. They're just that big wide V on them, and then they're jammed into an engine bay. It's never great fun, but this is certainly, apart from the start, easier than some of the others I've played with. So this is 1, 3, 5 and 7 down this side of the motor. I don't want to see rust on any of them. That's not too bad, but that one's pretty good. A bit oily, but no rust. Don't know how water would have got in her unless she's got an internal leak, because the bonnet's, although rusted out on the edges, it's certainly covering up the carburettor pretty well. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good also. So number 3, which is the second cylinder back on this side, wasn't the best, but I'll knock the rest out of her and see how she comes up, and we'll give her a hit off the key again. And so we're going to squeeze some water out, or we're going to have to put some lubrication down in them and let it sit for a bit, try and get a bar underneath it, something like that. The amount of smoke the old girl used to blow, I didn't think it'd ever seize up due to rust. It was running when we actually drove it to where, on the other side of the road there, and we just pushed it back across here with the tractor when we moved them all a couple of years ago, but she was turned off. This side of the engine's running pretty good. And the back too, but still no rust. Yeah, that's just dark too. Just a bit rich, a bit oily, whatever the case is there. I'll give her a quick go with those out. If not, we're just going to have to put some spray in those and try and get a bar under or something. Oh girl, this is the problem, leaving them all outside. Okay, I'll put some spray in all them, and I'll see if I can get a lever bar underneath them. I could use the acetone and the ATF, but I'm not going to let it sit. I'm just going to put some lubricant in there for when I do try and force it over. I can't imagine it being too bad, although it has been 9 years, it's all covered. That back one's going to prove hard in whatever we decide to do with it. Okay, the next thing is finding a spot to put the bar. Now I really hope that starter doesn't have to come off, because that's not at all fun. So what I've come up with here, I think that's just a little tin cover over the flywheel. There is a spot in the corner there I could get a bar, but we're better off just taking that off. There's 7/16. Covered in crap, or they're 1/2 inch. Many years ago when I was a lot younger without kids, it'd be the last thing on my mind's laying under this thing on New Year's Day, but certainly change. Big old flywheel exposed there, we should be able to get something onto it. I'm going to have to change the oil in it too, because if there's something like rust, it's seeped past the rings and should be in the bottom of the sump. I'll try now, unless I go and get the oil and let it soak. No, I'll get a bar while the camera's pointing at it. My tools are very limited in this old vehicle here. I've got about 6 sets of tools because I am a heavy vehicle earth moving mechanic. I've got a set at work, I've got a set in my workshop here, I've got a set in that Pantech we tow behind the old Kenworth when we go away. In case of any breakdowns, I've got a set in the Louisville and I've got a set here. I get all these sponsors reach out, but not yet have I had a tool company reach out. So I'm going to go and get some oil, we'll drop her out, and I will get some lever bars. I'll drop the oil out of her. Let that stuff soak in the cylinders for a bit, then we'll get the bar onto her. It's always interesting seeing how these old girls go with what's in the sump from sitting around. I reckon there'll be water, because I was going to say you can generally feel it seeping around the thread if it's pretty good really. Very thin, smells of petrol. I reckon these old girls used to blow they're not like a 350 or a Falcon or a Ford V8 or something like that. The inlet manifolds on these bridge between the inlet ports on the head, and there's another tin cover covering the valley, so you're covering all your lifters and everything like that. I reckon they used to either blow the sump off or that tin cover under the inlet manifold, because they'd fuel up and ignite. Crankcase, like it'd explode inside the crankcase and blow one of these covers off. I've heard of them doing it, especially in the old 510 and 610s. I knew a bloke that it happened to. Certainly not a lot in her. I reckon it burned all that last time we had it going. Could let that drip for a while. The trouble is it's in the way of the flywheel. Getting a bar into that flywheel. Only very fine teeth on that ring gear also. I think where you're looking there, I'm just looking at the screen on the camera, you should be able to see the flywheel. While that drips, we might give her a go. There's no real sign of water. The thing is out of gear, so I don't know what she's stuck on. But she certainly is stuck. It's strange, there's no water in the sump. This is the input of the transmission, but I highly doubt that. I suppose I could put my foot on the clutch and see what she does, but bar this long, something's got to happen. Break it or move it. The end on this bar's fairly decent though, so she's not grabbing those smaller, finer teeth as well as this one is. This exhaust header pipe is in the way. Dear, oh dear. What's happened here, darling? Won't have to let her sit for a couple of days. She's dripped enough now. I'll cover that up. I'm in the way. Really stinks that old petrol engine oil. So I'll put one of those in, but that's not going to be very strong at all to leave her off. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Dear, oh dear. What the hell's that doing? Oh, it's beyond me. How to lock up sitting here, there's no water anywhere. I bet that flywheel's moving. Is it coming through to the balance? It's like it's twisting. Need one of them bloody cameras to put down there and into the cylinders and see what's actually going on here. I don't know that I've got one. Okay, I think I've got a little bit out of her. About 2 degrees, but it's not solid anymore at least. I've given more spray off camera, just I'm not sure what cylinder it is, I can't see in there, but just to make sure she's lubricated while it's trying to push through the rust or whatever's going on in there. Get a little bit out of her. Not much. All right, everyone. So what I'm going to do is do the old acetone and ATF. I have put the spray in the cylinder, but because you got a V with the cylinders, it's only laying on one side of the piston, so it's probably going in there and atomising. There's probably bugger all in there. So if I can fill it up so it covers the whole top of the piston, seep around them rings, it might have a dry rust band around one of the bores. Hopefully that's not what the case is, but I can't see what else it'd be. That needs to be moist for it to drag through. I'll do the acetone and the ATF. I'll tip a bit down the carburetor too to loosen the valves up. It will smoke a lot but as I said, it used to smoke anyway, but she'll burn it out. And I've also got a side valve V8 down here, a little bit off topic, but while we got the mixture going, I'm going to put a bit in that as well, because it's also locked up, and it's an upcoming episode as well, that one. That mix is probably way out, but better off having more oil than acetone, but it's 50-50 at the moment. Should have the desired effect on her. I've got this little pump bottle here, which is good for getting down in the V. I don't know if this will work or not. Not as good as I'd like it to. I've seen this work. I mean, it's never impressed me as much as what people say, but it depends on the level of seizure too. That elephant truck, that old R170 I've got with I think it's a 282 or something in it. It didn't work at all on that. It may have helped, but it certainly didn't work. Water it down a bit more. So I'll put a bit down each plug hole, then we'll get that little jug there and we'll tip a bit down the carburetor and free everything up down there as well. Just prime my bottle, because last time I had brake fluid in it. Actually, that needs a bit more of a little hose on it, just bear with me. One thing I forgot is my headlamp. She's going to get rid of the mosquitoes anyway when she cranks up. I really think it's the second cylinder back on that side, on the other side, which is number 3. I reckon that's the one that it is, going off the condition the plug was in. Won't film the other side, you get what's going on here. Okay, a little bit off topic, like I said, but I'll give you a look of her. Got the old Ford CMP here. They call these a Blitz. They made Chev, they made Ford. I've got one with a 216 6-cylinder in it, and this is a side valve V8. Now, these are made for the Commonwealth, so some countries they certainly didn't make it to. Made for World War II, and then they become widely used on farms for tractors. Tractors, if you couldn't afford a tractor, they become used as trucks in the bush, all sorts of stuff. So I think I've got a couple I've still got to pick up actually, but I've got 2 like this. As I said, one with the Chev, one with the Ford. Look, physically looking at them, you can't tell the difference until you start looking at the diffs and stuff like that. And there's definitely a difference, but the cab is the same. Because this is going to be an upcoming episode, and I'm right near it with the tools and the stuff, I thought I'd give her a dose. Now I have done a few years ago. The plugs are loose, as you can see. The leads are all off. I'll come down and give her a shot of something. I can't remember what it was, but just ATF by itself, I think. Beauty of this thing is the cab does keep the water off it, but it still is locked up, so we need to figure out why that is. I won't focus too much in this video on her though. I was going to give her a dose anyway, so I thought I'd share it. She looks pretty good in these cylinders. She's got a cast alloy head on this side, aluminium head. I don't know what the story there is. I did know about it. Cast iron on the other side, but she must have, I mean it's old, so she would have had a problem some stage in her life, I'd imagine. Never seen her go, this one. We brought it home with the grey Kenworth on the little float, and haven't really been back near her. A bit down the carburetor too. Go around the other side now, I won't show you that. Okay, everyone, after 2 hours with this bar, just going backwards and forwards a couple of degrees at a time, I think she's eventually started to, it's getting freer. So I filled it up again off camera, just so I could tinker, just to make sure those cylinder walls were all wet the whole way around. I think it's number 3, which is the second one back on the other side head. What I might do now is I'll get under there, just make sure she's going to click around, and then I might try the key. It's going right round. There is still a bit of a tight spot though, so just see if the start will drag it through. It's all lubricated. It's quite easily just that one little spot, but it does go right round. We'll just see what the starter does. I got the camera on the tripod so you can't see the fan, because it's going to blow all that stuff back out of each spark plug port. Okay, she got to that spot and stopped. I'll try and wind it through. If not, I'll let it soak overnight. It's getting late now anyway. I've got to spin right round with the bar again. She's definitely getting looser. What I'm going to do now is, it's getting late, put the batteries on charge, and I will let that soak, even though it's blown a lot of it out. Well, squeezed a lot of it out from turning with the bar. The cylinder walls will be still wet, so let it penetrate whatever's on there. And then in the morning I'll come back down and hopefully we'll get some smoke out of her. Okay, good morning everyone. I'm back on her. So after laying under for probably 3 hours all up, 2 hours with the bar and draining the oil and bits and pieces, I think I finally got her to spin over. But to test that, I'm going to now put the oil in it. Then we can do a bit of winding. The oil pump might start to pick it up too as we wind. It's going to be hard to hold a 20 litre drum up. I might just reposition you there a little bit. I charged the camera all night and it's on 49%, so I don't know what is happening there. Not the best things to work on. Everything's right in there and high. Holding the 20 litre drum up isn't super easy. Of course it had to fall over. I'm glad I did pick to do a video on this one, because as she sat there she would have got worse and worse with that water in her, or whatever the case was. But she certainly needs a run anyway. Well, she's on ad. That's going to put her somewhere in the range, which is, I don't have a lot of oil here, not good stuff anyway, so I want to keep it for the stuff that I do use. Okay, I'll put this here and we'll give her a go. Do a couple of revolutions and we'll put the plugs in her and see what she does. Fairly happy with that. Just gather all these plugs up and give them a quick rub off camera. Give her a quick, just clean the gap a little bit. I'll film putting one side of them in. Just got to find out. I think they're both the same head. And the ports are on angle, so they face backwards on this side, forwards on the other. A fair way in there too, which makes it a bit harder. Sort of guessing the angle because you can't see in there. This one's super hard because of looks like the clutch linkage. I said throttle yesterday. Looks like the clutch linkage is in the way. Okay, I'll do the other side off camera, then we'll come back and put the leads on her. Okay, so the firing order on a International V8 is 18436572 and it spins clockwise. So you locate number one. I'm going off where number one already was, so how you would do it, I think they say time these off cylinder 8. But you could use one, I'm sure. So one needs to be on firing, or say 8 even. You get 8 to top dead center, and where that rotor button's pointing with your cap off is where that lead will go. Then you go from there. In this case, I'm going from 1. I'm just marking up where number 1 was rather than do the compression and top dead center thing in a clockwise direction. So you go 1, 8. All the even numbers are down this side, so 8 will be the one after 1, obviously, which is this one. I'm just going to sit them on there and then I'll stand up on the wheel and push them in. 1, 8. 4 is the second one back. Clipped in all right, that one. 8, 4, 3, so this is number 3. 3 will be the second one back. And 6, we'll give that other one in that holder there. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6. Then number 5, 6, 5. 5, 7. This side as well. Just got to put 2 on the other side. I just feed these down under this fuel line so she can go on that plastic clip. Stop the marking as much as possible. Certainly not in the best condition, these leads, but we'll see how she runs and go from there. 2's the remaining one, which is good. Okay, firing order's done. What we'll do now, point's a bit of a rub. People say not to use sandpaper and all that and these little flash files they carry in their wallet, but I'm going to use it because that's all I've got down here. I do agree with them that the sand and that can arc out, but also not overly concerned. At this point, it's good to do it while they're closed, then you can use the spring tension to clamp the paper and it gives you quite a nice drag in good condition in under this cap. Rotor button's good. The end of it a bit of a touch up. I see it shiny again. Always make sure it's seated because that'll put your timing right out. Those contacts are pretty good. I can test spark there, but we could always just tip a bit down the throat of her, and if she fires, it's obviously got it too. There is a lead missing off there. Where'd that go? 1/8, so it's got to be this side. There it is there, it's just fallen off. Okay. So another thing to look out for when you start these petrols, and I don't see a lot doing it in all the shows I watch, but chances are one of these trucks, or even cars, they use vacuum for the brakes, to boost the brakes. A big hose coming off there is going down to a vacuum booster, but you can see all these old joining hoses are all rubber and they're perished. Even if the hoses are in good condition, the diaphragm in the booster may be perished, may have a hole in it, and you want any air this thing draws, you want it to go through the carburetor, through that venturi. If it does run, it's going to put the mixture out. If it's got a vacuum leak somewhere, it's going to run completely different. So you want all the air to go through the carburetor. So what we might do is just pull that off and block that off. It just eliminates it. Not saying there's anything wrong with this one, but it eliminates that to where, well, if it's got a fuel problem, it's the carburetor, not a vacuum leak anyway. Even old cars, just keep in mind that they all, well, not all of them, but to a certain new model and up, they had power assisted brakes which come off the inlet manifold. Obviously didn't do this last time. I didn't listen to my own advice. I just sort of cranked her up and away we went. But this time I'm definitely going to. She sat another 9 years, so needs something doing with it. I just found an old spark plug that's the right size in the toolbox of the ute there. Carry a spare one round for the air compressor that I've got on the back. Should do the job nicely. You can see here, it's been taped up too, so it's all just a vacuum leak. With that blocked off now, we'll try and get spark. Now I think I just spotted here somewhere, yeah, this wire here is going straight to the positive on the coil, so at some stage I've been bodging it up somehow. There is a spark there. We might just see if that does anything. I better put some water in it too before we go cranking her up. Make you wonder where it all goes, this water. Some of them haven't got leaks and they're still empty. Okay, I'm going to connect this bodgy set up here. see what she does. It's got a bit in a beer bottle. I'm not going to fill the bowl just yet. I'll just put a bit down in her and see if she has got spark and whatnot. I didn't hook my button up because there's a fine gap between the signal wire and the power, and as I was trying to hook it up, she's trying to whine, so I'll just hit the key in the cab and see what she does. I think with big old V8s like this, she did hit off it, but then that was it. She's just used it all up straight away. Might try and hook a fuel source up to it. Okay, so I disconnected the two main tanks. It's got a diverter valve, so when one runs down, you divert it to the other tank. They haven't got a crossover on these. Just took the supply off from the fuel pump, so she's just going to run out of my boat tank sitting on the old Acco here. I can prime it up, fill the bowl. I could fill the bowl through the vent, but that'll eventually run out too, so I'll just prime that bulb up and see if there's any leaks. That should fill the bowl on the carburetor, and then we'll give her another go. It's definitely going in. I can hear it through the vent. All right, I'll give her another one. They're a bugger to start. She was recently locked solid too, so can't be too much against her. We haven't got that high ether content Aerostart like you got in the States over in America. It's got higher octane than petrol. Our stuff's basically shit here. It is good, but petrol's better. She's definitely got spark. Choke cable seized, but she's getting plenty of juice. I don't think it's that. I think the throttle pump's working. You can see petrol down in there like she's flooded. I'll give her a bit more in here. I think the throttle pump's working at all. I'll just try our ether, but I mean, I'm only using 91 octane petrol, but I'm sure that's all she'll need. Certainly worth a try. She's trying. I'd say lack of compression's a big thing. And old spark leads don't look much good either. She hit then. I've got a feeling she's locking back up. Well, she may not want to play this one. Starting to squeak every time it goes around, like it's picking back up, and now it's tight again. She's definitely tight again. Yeah, she's tight again. Maybe last time she started grabbing, and when we've turned her off and cooled down, she's done the job. But I'll keep trying and just wreck it more, or I suppose I can get back under there with the bar and see what she does, but we may have to call this one a loss. Okay, right, doesn't look like she's going to go off the starter. I've tried Aerostart, I've tried the petrol. I could try replacing all them leads. I think what she needs to do is spin over quicker. I think it's a compression issue. I might wait till my dad gets home. He's down the coast at the moment. Give her a pull with the tractor and see if she's going to go. It's still got that tight spot when I tried to turn it over with the bar. It's free the whole way around to this one spot. I don't want to force it through it, but at the same time, the motor is worn to buggery like last time we had to go and wasn't great. Which is hard to believe it did lock up, because the amount of smoke it was blowing, it would have been well lubricated, but that one plug had that bit of rust on it. So, not that I want to force it, but I think we'll give her a go with the tractor, maybe tomorrow when my father gets home. I've got no one here to drive the tractor at the moment. I think she'll pop off with that. We'll just set the fuel tank on the roof. I think she'll go. We'll give her, let her run for a while, get some heat up. She might free all the rings and everything up. It has sat for 9 years. We won't give up just yet. Okay, I got the petrol tank tied to the sun visor up there. My wife's come down to video and Dad's going to bring the tractor down. So by towing it, what it's going to do is spin it quicker. It'll obviously up the compression and draw harder through that carby, so she might kick off that way. So what we'll do then, if it does start, we'll let it run and warm up, and might unstick all the rings. It might make it worse, I don't know. It's not in the condition I remember it being in when we parked it here, so I'm certainly as interested as everyone else to see what's going to happen here.
Mom, why are you turning around and around? It's something you touch.
Me. Wait with me so he can see you.
Well, they'll do. Everything works inside of her, but she's running on about 5 cylinders probably. Mechanically though, the engine sounds really good. Don't have to pop out the valves, it probably wouldn't hurt to adjust them. I don't know if they're adjustable or they're hydraulic on these, but I'd say they're adjustable. It could be a bit of a chuff, but she's not backfiring out there, unless it's on one of those dead cylinders. Set of plugs and leads, I reckon she'd come alright. The smoke is hard to tell whether it's from the engine or, remember I tipped over a litre in down the carburettor too. So, whether she's just burning that off, but I did say that she used to burn it too, so I'm going to let her run here for a while, let her get hot, let everything bed back in and see how she goes. So she did stop when I unhooked the chain, well when I first got out, not unhooked the chain, and she started off the key, so it's definitely changed something straight away. She might have been flooded, and she's come good from towing her. Okay, everyone, she's been going best part of, 3 parts now. None of the other cylinders have decided to come back in, but I think the warmth's going to help her for sure. she did run out of petrol. I come over and filled the tank up and she started back off the key, so I'm very happy with that. I think it's not going anywhere. I'm not going to do anything with it just yet, but I think it's worth buying a set of 8 leads and plugs for, and well, I don't know anything about the valves on them. By the time someone comments, I will, because I'll have a look tonight, but whether they're adjustable or not. But I reckon a set of feeler gauges over and a set of plug leads and plugs, I reckon she's going to make the world of difference. Carburettor's very responsive. It's not running any different to what it did the first time we had it going, so certainly not something from sitting around. But it was lock solid yesterday, so I'm certainly not complaining about it today. All right, everyone, that's going to do for this episode. It turned itself off, so I think the petrol tank ran out again. It's not really economical, even just idling, but if I do anything to it, you'll be the first to know. I'll certainly video it. At this stage, there's no immediate plans. I'm going to try and get the old blitz going as well, and then I've got a lot of other stuff I want to do, like some proper stuff. This is just entertainment purposes, a lot of this. So please share this channel, please consider subscribing. Let's help it grow. Once it grows, it might allow me to get a bit more time to do some bigger and better things. So I've got a few things on other properties I can go and start, pick up. Just this afternoon, I got a text message offering another D-Series Ford, so that's 2 of those I've got to pick up. I've got to ring the bloke, but it's only up the road, so that'll be another video. Not only picking it up, but starting it as well. So let me know what you all think about that, and I appreciate all the new subscribers, everyone, for the beautiful comments, and thank you all, and see you on the next one.